Warriors of price action and guardians of fundamentals, welcome to Retail Recon. On today's mission, we're breaking down first two of the option Greeks, Delta and Theta, two of the most important forces in options trading. If you do not understand these two, you are trading blind. Let's start with Delta. Think of it as the speed control on an option. It tells you how much the option price is expected to change when the stock moves by $1. Delta ranges from 0.00 to 1.00. Commonly, when we are talking about delta, the decimal point is neglected. So when you hear a delta of 70, just remember that is 0.7. What does the delta value tell us? If a call has a delta of 50 and the stock goes up by $1, the option may go up by about 50 cents. Puts have negative delta, but it operates in a similar way. For example, if a put has a delta of minus 50 and the stock goes up by $1, the option will lose 50 cents. And vice versa. If it goes down by $1, the option may gain about 50 cents. Delta is your primary sensitivity metric. A high delta means your option behaves more like the actual stock, aggressive and responsive. On the other hand, a low delta will require a massive move to get it off the ground. When we start debriefing specific option strategies, this behavior will become much more important. One tactical tip, delta also serves as a probability of success readout. It tells us the likelihood of an option expiring in the money. For example, a 30 delta is the market's way of saying there is a roughly 30% chance that the option expires in the money. Keep in mind, it's not a guarantee. It is just a snapshot of what the market is pricing in right now. And don't forget, delta is changing all the time. Additional use case of delta is also to have a ballpark of position weight in terms of share. As one contract controls 100 shares, delta tells you approximately how many shares your option is worth. For example, if you hold a call with a delta of 25, that means you are effectively long 25 shares of stock. As mentioned in the previous sections, if you would want to mimic stock behavior with options, you would go for high deltas of 85 and above. Now let's move to Theta. If delta is speed, Theta is the time drain. It tells you how much value an option tends to lose each day as expiration gets closer, assuming nothing else changes. Theta measures time decay, the daily tax you pay just for holding the contract. In technical terms, it measures the daily decay of options' extrinsic value. As you have learned by now, if you are a buyer of an option, time is your enemy. Every 24 hours that pass chips away at your contract's value even if the stock doesn't move an inch. Think of an option like a block of ice in the desert. It doesn't matter if you're standing still or running, that ice is melting. Option buyers are fighting the melt. You need the stock to move fast enough to outrun the decay. Option sellers are the desert. Time is your greatest ally. You want that ice to melt so you can keep the premium you collected. Note that Theta is not a linear threat. As expiration approaches, the melt accelerates. In the final weeks of contract, Theta goes from a slow leak to a structural collapse. Delta and Theta fight on the same battlefield, often against each other. This is the basic tension of the trade, direction versus duration. If you buy a call and the stock moves up, Delta adds to your profit. But if the stock takes 2 weeks to make that move, Theta might have already bled your position dry. You can be right on the direction and still lose because you were wrong on the timing. Before you open a trade, you must be able to answer 2 questions. First, objective. How much distance does the stock need to cover to reach my profit target? And second, attrition. How much value am I losing to time decay every single day? If the attrition is higher than your expected velocity, you're in a losing position before you even start. Use this approach also if you are the seller of an option. In that case, you need to predict how much time premium will you capture every day and how sensitive you are to the stock move. Remember, with options you can make money if the stock moves up, down, or sideways. Here is the tactical use case. If you are trading a strategy like a covered call or a short vertical spread, Delta helps you judge how aggressive the trade is, and Theta helps you judge how fast premium will decay. A few rules of thumb. Higher delta means the option is more sensitive and more expensive. High delta equals high precision. These options are more reliable. They move when you need them to move. Lower delta means the option is cheaper, but it may need a bigger move to pay off. Low delta equals high risk. These are cheap lottery tickets. They need a massive, explosive move to overcome their lack of sensitivity. Theta management: if you're buying, give yourself more time than you think you will need. If you're selling, you want to be in the theta burn zone, usually 30 to 45 days from expiration. Keep in mind, theta gets stronger as expiration approaches, which is great if you are selling premium and dangerous if you're buying it. And it's worth repeating again, don't get tunnel vision on direction. If you are prepping to take the shot, don't just account for the target, account for the wind as well. In options, theta is the wind. Let's recap this mission. Delta measures how much an option tends to move when the stock moves. It measures your reaction to price. It's your speed. Theta measures how much value the option tends to lose as time passes. It's your burn rate. A successful trade requires the right direction, the right speed, and enough time to survive the decay. And with that, we close today's episode. If you found value in this mission, lock in your support by liking, subscribing, and following our movement. Thanks for standing watch with me today, and until next time, trade smart, risk sharp, stay on target.